Welcome to the November 2025 block of the month, and this will be our last month. So we're going to go ahead and get the whole quilt top assembled. And to start, we have a few units, single units that we need to piece together into a row. And it is going to be the Ohio Star with a larger rectangle between the churn dash. So we'll join those two, and then we'll add a smaller rectangle on each end of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I will go press those towards the sashing units that I just added, and then we're going to add a long border piece to each side to finish off this section. Next, I'm going to add the bordered Ohio Star block to this pieced unit to complete that section. Okay, I'm just going to keep adding smaller sections to bigger sections, and then it's going to grow and grow, and then we'll have 3 sections that we're going to add together to make the quilt top. Now we're going to join the two ends of the binding, and how I like to do that is I've left an opening about 8 inches, 10 inches, and I'm going to kind of just fold my binding in on itself, and I'm trying to get a 1/4 inch gap or a space between the two folds of the binding. So I'm just laying it flat, and I'm just making tiny adjustments in that fold so that I have a 1/4 inch gap between the two. And then I am going to set that really good because I want a crease in there. I'm going to kind of move them up. Okay, pressing them really good so there's a crease. And then I'm going to kind of fold this quilt in on itself there so that we don't have that bulk to work with. Okay, and then I am going to open this up and join this one with it as well. And then what I'm looking for is those creases to intersect with one another. So where the fold is, I'm lining it up with the fold on the other strip, so matching those. And then I'm going to open up this piece. And again, just making sure those fold lines match. And then I'm going to stitch right through here. So I'm going to put a pin up here and a pin down lower so that I have this area open to do my stitch to join those two ends together. Okay, I'm going to remove the pins, and I just want to do a check to make sure that I joined them the right way. And when I cut off my tails, then my binding will close, and then we can go ahead and stitch that part on. So I'm just snipping this a 1/4 inch away from the seam and just making sure that I'm just getting the tails on this side here. Okay, and then that can just get tossed. And then just going to go ahead and stitch the binding to this open section.